So my first question to you would be, can you share your background as an ultra marathoner and a green campaigner?
Yeah, well, okay. So I don't know if you know about marathon. It considers to be a sporting event, and the distance is 42 kilometers. So when you run 42-kilometer, that is when you consider to be a marathoner. Like long distance running, there are many categories: 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer. There is 21, which is considered to be half marathon, and 42 is the marathon. So any distance above 42 is considered to be an ultra marathon. We call it an ultra marathon. It can be 50, 70, 100, or any. So beyond 42 is an ultra marathon. And I've been running this, taking part in events. There are races wide across the globe about this ultra distances. And I also do my own run, like, from point A to B, from one city to another, which is also an ultra run in terms of distance. And Green Campaigner, yeah, I love that name. So yeah, it's been quite some year that I would love to. I mean, I've been running to talk about the climate challenge because last 4 years where uh, I got an opportunity to work from home because of the pandemic, where I was traveling extensively, and I've experienced this climate challenge firsthand wherever I was. Like I was in Europe, I was in various parts in India, I was in the Middle East. So that is when I thought maybe running can be used as a medium to talk, to address this issue, at least to bring awareness. So it's been like close to 4 years that I've been running from running in into different cities, like say any distance beyond 42, like 70 or 100 kilometers, to bring attention to talk about this climate challenge.
Yes, your work was actually really inspiring for us too. And running is not an easy task. We all know that, right? So was there any
Yeah.
moment during your journey that particularly like stood out to you? Anything that you remember?
Every running event, I mean the running journey which I took, like I ran in Spain, I ran in Portugal, I ran various parts of India, I ran in Dubai recently. So every run is memorable because the kind of people I meet during the run, obviously, it grabs your eyeball because when you're driving on the street and you suddenly have, uh, obviously people have a lot of curiosity to ask what is happening, why am I doing this. So I met a lot of people with this question, like, be it in Europe or India or Middle East. And I made a lot of friends on road while running, and also to convey the message, because people think I'm mad to do this. But yeah, I mean, basically, I wanted to convey this message, and this is the best thing I can do. I can do it because running is my passion, and I know I can run for hours, long hours, for long distance. So I combine both running and the cause which I care for, the climate. Every run is memorable. There is no particular one which is which stands more. I mean, there's no weightage, and every run is beautiful. Every run is memorable. The memorable things are the people whom I meet during the run. Like if I have to talk about the recent run which I did in Dubai, because as you live in Dubai, you know that
Yes.
it's not a pedestrian friendly place. You won't see a lot of people walking on the road. It's mostly for the cars. So obviously people saw me and asked me why am I doing, and especially when I run barefoot, whether I don't have money to buy footwear, that is the reason I'm doing. And you talk about, you stop and you have a chit chat, you discuss why am I doing for the cause and all these things, and you bring an instant connection. Some people, for them, it's they'll just write it off as it's a funny thing, or maybe some people it can be inspiring, or maybe they can kind of inspire them to do something on their own. Like there was a lady whom I met, and now we are connected on Instagram. So she said like she also would like to run, just that it's a very busy life in Dubai where people spend a lot of time traveling to office and work, uh, they don't find they don't really get this work-life balance. So that she said, like, if I can do that, maybe she can spend like 10-15 minutes to take care of her health. So yeah, that is one instant, but there were a lot of such examples. Like I met a lot of people on the road, mainly because I run barefoot, which brings a lot of attention. So people ask me the reason, and yeah, and it's beautiful how humans are getting connected. Out of this question, and then you instantly connect, and later maybe you follow them on social media or something like that.
Okay, so you've also been described as Barefoot Mallu. So can you like explain what does that actually mean and how it reflects your identity and values?
Oh yeah, Mallu is a short for a form for the Malayali, the
Yeah.
community which I belong to. I'm a Malayali. My mother tongue is Malayalam, and I lived most of my life in Bangalore. I studied and worked there. So my friends, the North Indian friends and other friends from other state, they call me Mallu. Because of, and then I run barefoot, so I connected both barefoot Mallu, which kind of became an identity. The reason I run barefoot is it's been 10 years. I've been doing barefoot running, and I did it it was my own decision where I read this book called Born to Run. It was by an American author, Christopher McDougall, which talks about how human beings evolved, from the early stages where we were hunters and gatherers, and year by year, a lot of development took place in the human life, like invention of tire and all other things. And with that, the evolution, like human feet, we got with the help of technology, we have shoes which gives you an ultra luxury and comfortable comfort level, where barefoot is considered to be the natural form of running. And I combined this to talk about the cost because when you run barefoot, uh, you are not, anyways, you are not producing. I mean, we are having very less carbon footprint, unlike you are, in a car or in any vehicle. And then I'm not using shoes, so that way I'm also reducing my contribution even more, because shoes, again, it gets a long time to decay. It doesn't decay, right? Like, you use 2 or 3 years and you throw. What do you do after? Like, I mean, I can ask you also, maybe, what do you do with your old footwear? You throw it, you give it to somebody, or how do that? It doesn't, there is no, maybe, some like leather or some other product. Most of them are made of plastic, like, they have the form of plastics and other materials which takes years to decompose into the soil. So barefoot, in that way, I can proudly say I'm not contributing to any.
Yeah, that's a really great perspective to look at. So, in addition to raising awareness about climate change, did you have any specific goals or outcomes in mind when you embarked on this journey?
Yeah, so basically, like, if I run from, if I run 100 kilometer in Dubai, it won't change the climate, right? Like, I'm not going to change. It's not like a switch, like, you turn it off or turn it on. I cannot change immediately, but the main goal is to bring this message to people. Like, so what I have seen is the run became viral. A lot of media shared it, and I saw a lot of people commenting that, what is the use of you running? Like, you ran, you got some fame, but climate is still the same. Nothing changed. We are feeling hot, or it's more cold, or whatever. So, I mean, it's not my, my plan was not to bring down the climate, like, but the main thing was at least people are aware. So, even if it is, people are commenting in a bad way, at least people know there is something happening. Climate is changing everywhere. Like, it's not just, earlier we used to predict when the monsoons are, when is the summer, when is the winter. Now, it's all completely twisted. Like, you cannot, you are not, earlier we used to expect like November is the winter time. Here now, November is still sunny. It's like there is not much difference between November and, June. The humidity is still the same, or even the rain when you expect it on June 1st, it's not happening. It's still hot, or the winters are getting uh, stretched beyond the normal duration. So the main thing is to bring awareness. At least the more we talk about it, the more people know about it, right? The
Yeah.
more you talk, everyone, the more it's like a chain. I talk about it. Maybe I reach 100 people. Out of the 100, 3 people get the message and they talk to their parents. I mean, they pair their kids or their friends. So it's like a chain. It's like a small step, like one by one, each and everyone can do. And they can influence. Not that I'm influencing entire world. I'm influencing maybe 1 or 2 people, and they will obviously they will kind of send the message to their dear ones. Like how do we, in a family, how do things work? Because the elder person, they convey us, right, the message. The parents, the mother or father, they tell us what to do, because we like how to lead a life. So we get the message from them. The same way, somebody, I mean, I'm just like in my way I talk about this cause. So those who get the message, they definitely talk to their friends and their people, and it goes like that.
So, are you aware of the recent flood in UAE because of
Yeah,
the
yeah. I'm in Dubai right now, and so my
yeah.
friends were making fun of me because it's because of my run. Because otherwise it didn't happen. The rain, like it's like it hardly happens in Dubai, and last 2 3 months it's been raining crazily, and especially those 3 days when at UAE, I think it got the entire rain which it was supposed to get in that year. It got in 2 days. So yeah, I mean it's happening all the world. I mean it's happening in entire world, not just in UAE. Things which are not common, like rain here in the desert, which is not so common, and it's becoming like, and the cities are not prepared for it, because all these years we have it's a well planned city which we thought, but within 2 3 rain, it destroyed the city's reputation, right? The world class aircrafts, they were stuck. The flights has to be delayed, the traffic system, the metros, everything has to be stopped, right?
Yeah.
It's not the government's responsibility, it's also our responsibility also. Like, yeah, so sorry I interrupted, but you wanted to say something about the flood, or
No,
you
no,
wanted to
it's
ask
not.
something about? Yeah.
No, it's not saying anything. So what was your personal experience like?
My personal experience was well, because I can work from home. So I
Yeah.
was at home. The area where I live in Jumeirah, which it was not much affected. But then
Yes.
I saw the videos, the videos, and a lot of people, and my friends, from them also I got to know, like, they were stuck in the apartment without water, without electricity. Fortunately, I didn't have to face any of those, except the lift was not working for a day or two. But that is what, like, we all know all these things can happen, but only when it happens at our doorstep, then we realize, what is climate change, or what is climate challenge. Because earlier we thought, okay, it's happening in Australia, it's happening in Europe, it's happening in India. Here we are safe because we have everything. We live in an air conditioned room, so we don't have to worry about it. We don't get out during the summer. But now when it happened, like, you never expected, like, I mean, I think I'm just assuming you might be someone who lived most of your life, all your life, in Dubai,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you might have experienced the rain of that kind ever, right, before.
No, never. Yeah.
Yeah, so these things can happen, and in 2 days you saw that what can really, in 2 days the life was so miserable. So you can just imagine if it continues for 5 6 days, how it will be. The people's life will be in danger. A lot of things will be, completely destroyed. But again, there is also other side of it. You got the desert, which hardly sees the rain. It got the, enough rain, which, if planned properly, if it can be used. The problem here is it's at the same level, at the sea level. So there's no proper water sewage system, right? Like, the water goes from top to down, right? It goes like this. It won't go up, or when it is a flat land, it stays there. So, if we have a better system to kind of get the water to the places which can be used later, like rainwater harvesting is being followed in countries where, rain is very scarce, so very, there's a scarcity. So these things, I mean, obviously it requires a lot of planning. Climate and the rain, it comes without, maybe it's beyond our planning, and it happens, right, unexpectedly. But always the planning one step ahead always helps, right? You can always expect, because now I was in the Indian Himalayas, Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, and Himachal Pradesh, where snow didn't happen during the winter, like January and December, when the extreme winter, it was not happening. There was hardly any snow. And then it happened from end of January till now. Like it's recently, like a week ago, also it was snowing. So it's all like we cannot define the proper climate now, like weather. Like summer, spring, autumn, all those things. Now it's all like when is the monsoon, when is the summer? It's all like you can expect rain in summer, you can expect cold during the summer. Like this April was the coldest April in Dubai's or UAE's entire history. So yeah, we have to be aware. It's just like it's changing at a very rapid pace. So people also has to be you cannot just sit and then expect the rain and then sit and cry.
Yes. So there are a lot of people who say that climate change is not real and it's just all God's plan. So do you have anything to say for them?
I'm not a qualified person. Like obviously somebody who's from the climate, who's a climate scientist or somebody can give it a proper answer to this. But obviously it's there are the people who are saying it's not real. They might have their reason, because climate, like it's not the same as, it keeps changing, right? Like in the 18th century or 17th century it was not the same. So it keeps changing year on year, but our actions kind of make it happen faster. Like the more we consume, the more we spend on resources which are like the like say for example the fossil fuel. We have a lot of cars, vehicles, everyone using their own cars instead of taking the public transport, which contributes in a higher scale. So that way, or say for example, fast fashion. People love shopping because you get discounts, you buy a lot of things, and in a year, it you won't use it again. Like you use it this year, and next year new trend comes, you buy a new clothes, and the old one sits in the closet, and later you throw it, and it won't get decomposed. So it may or may not be real, but obviously you are experiencing now, like the level of temperature which you cannot tolerate. So
Yes.
there are which you can control in your way. Like control in the sense you can contribute to kind of maintain. It's real or not, the experts talk about it. But as far as I know, it's happening gradually, where like you yourself can answer like how it was 5 years ago and how it is now, right? You have seen the changes. And I'm not just talking in terms of the climate, the development in the city. Like cities are becoming more and more developed with the technology and everything. Those things also contribute in some or the other way.
Sorry, yeah. So,
Mhm.
how did you
Yeah, no.
maintain a balance between your passion for running and your advocacy for environmental conservation in your daily life?
Yeah, the balance is obviously, when you want to get something, you'll do it, right?
Yes.
It's more on your priority, like what you want in life. Like some people, the priority is fitness. Some people they want money. So when you prioritize things, when you balance things in the sense, you want, okay, you all every person have 24 hours. There is no discount to anyone, right? Somebody gets 26, or somebody gets 30 hours, or somebody gets 10 hours. You all get 24 hours, and you get like 6 to 7 or 8 hours of sleep, and you have still like say uh 14 or 16 hours for yourself where you can work. I'm not saying that you need to calculate each and every hour, but it prioritize, like it so for me the priorities are pretty simple. I've realized that with an active lifestyle, you can also be productive in your work life. And because when you're fit and mentally and physically, you can contribute more. And at the same time, you can also follow a sustainable lifestyle. You can talk about things which you are practicing. Reduce the consumption, reduce less, use public transport. Uh, buy less things, like or buy things which you require, not not like a panic buying, or not when you see the offers, don't get into this shopping uh, spree and get and add things to cart. So for balancing for me is not so challenging because obviously I have my priorities, which is fitness and work life. So, but yeah, again, depends on people. Like, for example, you're a student, you have like 6 hours you spend in school, and then say 7 hours you sleep, and then you still have like 10 hours, which you can you have like some more hours to travel and study. Even then, I'm just assuming you have 4 hours which you can, uh, based on your preference, like you can spend watching TV, which is not bad. I mean, obviously you can use it as a leisure time. You can go out and play. You can use it in various ways. It depends on how you prioritize things. Like what is your priority right now? It's your student life, so you have uh, the studies, the extracurricular activities. But as an adult, they have a lot of priorities when it comes to family and other things. But obviously, you need to make sure that only when you're fit enough, then only you can do other things, right? You If you prioritize other things, and later you end up paying the medical bills.
Yes. Yeah. So, so basically, what you're telling is to have our priorities straight, and then we'll be able to manage life better. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously anybody can do that. You just have to you people have passion, so just prioritize, because it's we are human beings are the only people who have multiple passions, right? Like,
Yes.
so because it's not just for the physical health, it's also for your mental health. Maybe the 8 hours at work kind of drains you, and you would love to sleep for some more time. Obviously it's good, you can take rest is good. But you can also, like, I'm not talking about 1 or 2 hours. Even if it is 20 minutes a day you give to yourself, it can produce immense results.
Yeah. So, beyond this barefoot run, what are your future aspirations or projects in the realm of environmental activism?
Yeah, man. The future, it's the same. Like, I would love to run in different countries to talk about the same cause, different places, different countries. So yeah, I continue doing this in every 3 months probably. Maybe in next few weeks you'll see me in some other country running.
So, do you have any message for our youth, today's youth, for advocating for
Today's
climate?
youth, yeah. Climate, yeah. I mean, the more you are aware at young age, because it's easier to make understood the younger people than the adults, because adults obviously have a lot of things in mind, and they might not want to think as you want to. So the younger generation, the youth, they are easier to make understand things, and easier because from them, if you start early, you'll follow this, right? If you have a habit at an early stage, you follow. Say, for example, if you don't litter, like, you're somebody who eats chocolate, I'm just assuming, and you know where to keep the wrapper, like, or if you have the habit of throwing it anywhere on the road, you keep doing it as an adult also, right? So start things at younger age. The only message is to live life happily. But for the youth, at the same time, be like, you do all the things like you love, like, you have to have your passion at with the studies, like, studies, yes, it's important also to keep alive the passion in you, be it art, sports, which can contribute for the earth in many other ways. Like, you can contribute, if you're an artist, you can illustrate, you can draw things which can inspire people. You can, if you are into sports, you can use that as a medium to talk about. uh, so the only, I mean, I don't love to give advices. I mean, because obviously I'm not somebody who love advices, and especially as a kid, I never liked advices. But yeah, the thing is to uh, have this curiosity in your mind always, ask questions every time, and follow your heart.
Yes, obviously. So you don't call yourself an influencer, right? Like in spite of making such a big influence. So why do you choose?
Influencer, yeah, influencer, as in, I don't really love to endorse products like influencer, as in, like, the modern world. Uh, the modern term is who endorses product to people. Like, obviously you can influence people in life without doing all such things. But yeah, uh, I mean, I would love to be an influencer if I can influence people to do, to take up fitness as a priority, but not to, I get a lot of message from brands to talk about them, which I won't do. That's the reason I put it on Instagram saying I'm not an influencer as of that kind to talk about brands or to, make people buy them. But yeah, obviously, I would love to be called as an influencer if I can influence people to take up health as a priority.
So finally, reflecting on your experience, what lessons have you learned that you believe are valuable for others, whether they're pursuing
The
their
lesson, yeah, the lesson is always you have to be grounded. That's the best thing. Barefoot running gives you as a lesson. You're grounded and take life as life. Uh, running is like, you get to see life in a nutshell. Like, you have ups and downs in life. So the same thing happens when you run. Like if I'm running 24 hours, the ups and downs, like you started when it is very good weather, and by noon the sun is out, it gets more challenging. But the challenging it is, but then if you don't give up, evening you it again the weather is good, and you'll by the time you finish, you can you get the result out of it. So it's uh, the result. I mean, the lessons are like never give up, be grounded, like these things which you get to experience from by doing it. Like, it's not like you learn from textbook or from movies. These are like experiencing it, and lessons you get from life, like same so never give up. Never give up is something which I would love to tell people. No matter what happens, you should never give up, and keep fighting for what you love.
So before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to share with our audience?
I'm whatever I've said, maybe to take like we all have one life, live to the fullest. At the same time, take care of your health, take care of your nature, because these two things are very important to us. A good mind, a healthy mind, and a healthy environment, right? Rest of the things you can obviously you have, but if you don't focus on this, then you will have to end up paying huge amount, not in terms of money, in terms of everything.
Yes. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you and listening to your experiences.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.